So, welcome to our podcast, dear Simon. You wanted to join the podcast to talk about your experience as a rich kid in a super rich family. Well, we are ready to listen to you.
Thanks, man. Well, first of all, I gotta say, if you think I am acting like a little mommy boy who don't know what to do with his father's money or someone who is thirsty for attention, you really should not listen to this show. These words are coming from the bottom of my heart, so I just want you to listen and don't judge. It got very lonely for me at times. When your parents are executives, they are inherently bound to their jobs. Although they may be married, their true marriage is to their job, to what they do, and I was just a pet. My parents spent more time traveling on business than they did at home, and it made it really difficult to be a family. When I was younger, this loneliness hit me really hard. My caretaker would wake me up, get me to school, pick me up from school, take me home, cook, clean, and care for me while my parents ran around the world making big deals and dealing with mergers and other shit they thought to be important. My family became my brother and my caretaker. However, it became really hard over time because my caretaker wasn't there for my whole life. Every few years my parents would get a new caretaker. I guess somehow to teach me how to deal with different people of different races. Over the years I've racked up 10 caretakers from the different regions of the world, all with a different personality and beliefs. Now, after years of this, I became depressed, and my parents took me to countless doctors to see if I can be fixed. I retreated into the world of video games and MMOs, making more friends online instead of in person. The bully at school would blame my parents for his parents' economic disadvantage, would claim that I'm a prick who had everything handed to him, who couldn't do anything himself without phoning for daddy or caretaker. So I played video games, determined to do something for myself that my parents couldn't just hand to me. After countless visits to different doctors, they ended up figuring out I was depressed because I had no sense of family, no binds to anyone. Sure, I had my brother, but he was 6 years younger than me, and as such we had difficulties finding mutual fun activities. So I would get gifts, all the time shipments would come in of the newest computer, video game consoles, toys. We had no pets for me to be with because my parents are allergic, so I spent time with my toys in an attempt to be happy. And whoever says that money buys happiness is a total liar, since it doesn't. The games I played were there to distract me from the real world, to cancel out the fact that I was alone. I had friends at school, but sadly they lived far away from me and it was hard early on to hang out after school. In terms of anyone I can relate to, it's Remy Booksaplenty from Fairly Odd Parents. Now, there were some advantages that significantly stepped me up in the world. I went to the top school in the area and was able to get into top universities because of it, and my parents drilled me to get perfects on the SAT and ACT. I could have chosen any Ivy League, if I wanted to go, and my parents hoped that I would follow in their footsteps of attending an Ivy League and getting a master's in business. But I chose not to. I can't live like that, can't live with having no sense of family. My girlfriend's parents are closer to being my actual family than my parents. If it's one thing I've noticed, it's that low middle-class families seem to have the best sense of family. The upper-class families are worried about the markets, and it seems that people in the other classes are struggling and focusing on moving up a class ranking, instead of just living. So yeah, I had the latest tech and the best toys, and when I got my license my parents bought me a brand new BMW. I enjoy what I have, but the biggest struggle I have is trying not to take it all for granted. Because I was raised by my caretakers, they tried to teach me how to live without everything. I try to not be an entitled, pompous prick because I enjoy people for their personality, not for their wealth.
Well, that was a real emotional story. By the way, I hope you can build a better life for your children. Anyways, let's talk about how you feel while you are working far away from home.